What is up, my fellow nerds and gangsters? Let's hope that some of you see that I'm here and not in the other video. Sorry about that, guys. I was trying to. You guys are still. What's up, guys? Sorry, I'm letting the other people know that we're waiting in the other live stream. All right. Who's here? Who's here? We got Josh, Tukeke, Team Gohan, Star Wars Gaming. What's up, guys? Sorry, I was trying to use another program to do the streaming so I can use my webcam and not my iPad. But apparently I suck and it didn't work. All right. So, first off, Josh says he has not seen Captain Marvel. Who has seen Captain Marvel? Let me know. While you're doing that, if you have seen my review, and if you have not seen the review, check it out. So a fan's perspective says, I think the movie was great. That Gold Taco says, I haven't seen it. I'm just here for the fun. Hey, Gold Taco, I gave a Chipotle shout out in my Captain Marvel review yesterday. You gotta check it out. Lashley Dubois, what's up? Hello there, General Kenobi. Star Wars Gaming says Captain Marvel was amazing. Tukeke, I enjoyed the movie. All right, so far positive, very cool. Yeah, I liked it too. I thought it was super fun. I think the twist with the okay, all right, again, guys, if you haven't seen the movie, we're going to talk a lot about the movie, so there's going to be spoilers. But I think like if the movie did not have the twist with the Skrulls being or the Kree being the actual bad guys and the Skrulls being good, I think the movie would have been pretty weak and flat. And would have just not differentiated itself at all from any of the other MCU films. But with that twist, I felt it really made it unique, and really made the movie, in my opinion. Without that, I think the movie would have been pretty lame. Yeah, so Infinity War, or excuse me, a fan's perspective says it's just not Infinity War level of amazingness. It was a pretty good origin movie. I agree. I mean, it's totally not Infinity War amazingness, but few things can be Infinity War amazingness. But you say Ben Mendelsohn as Talos was pretty great. Yeah, he was pretty great. Somebody mentioned that he just kept waiting for Talos to yell deploy the garrison. Are we blind? Let's see here. All right. Star Wars Gaming says I've been waiting 6 hours for this live stream. Hey, so have I. Convenient. Okay, let's see here. So, I had a few questions. So somebody in my review posted potential continuity errors that perhaps Captain Marvel introduces into the MCU timeline. Among them being the tesseract timeline. How did Marvel get it? Because we know from other films, we know of course that it has its origins with Thor's bloodline and King Odin, and then eventually we know that Howard Stark has it. We know Red Skull has it, and then eventually we know once Loki gets it that Shield has it. But it never mentions Marvel having it or Dr. Lawson as she's called. But I think it's just a new fact. I don't think it's a continuity error. I just think it's a new wrinkle. Not even a wrinkle. It's just a new point in the timeline of the Tesseract and where it's come from and everything like that. So I think it's kind of neat. I am interested to know, how did Stark lose it? How did Howard Stark lose it? So Tony's dad. And how did Marvel get it? Is it possible that Howard knew that Marvel was Kree and that he was sympathetic to her plight or her mission to save the Skrull? Who knows? It's entirely possible. I think Howard died in 1991, and the film takes place in 1995, I think. So Lawson would have died in 1989, and so it's possible that Howard and Marvel or Lawson, I'll use the names interchangeably, totally, crossed paths. I mean, what do you guys think? So a fan's perspective asks, what do you think about the Stan Lee tribute intro, though? I thought it was sweet. I mean, my whole theater started cheering. Um, it's like, how can you not? I thought it was awesome. I thought his actual cameo was a little disappointing. Just reading like a newspaper or whatever on the train. But the tribute was pretty awesome and very appropriate. I thought. I thought it was really good because it's like they're not trying to take you out of the story with his cameo, so they just put it up front. So I thought it was a good call. All right. Star Wars Gaming says Ben Mendelsohn shots Hall with the Death Star. I'm not sure what that means, but he's a beast. Okay. The Kree plot twist with also the known backgrounds of Ben Mendelsohn being usually the villain was poetic to me. Dude, I agree. Like, whenever you see Ben Mendelsohn, especially in his most recent films, he is the bad guy, whether it's, of course, Star Wars or Robin Hood or Ready Player One. He is the bad guy. And so when I actually started watching the film, I thought, man, I love Ben Mendelsohn, but the moment you see him or know, that's Ben Mendelsohn, he's the bad guy. And so when it turned out that he was actually the good guy, I'm like, okay, I dig that. I dig that. I like it. It's very well done. I like it. Um, let's see here. So that was pretty great. So Dartha Magnum says it was good. Didn't have any high expectations, so I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, I've kind of regarding high expectations. So I didn't see The Dark Knight for 2 years until it came out. I was a missionary at the time for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and if you know anything about them, they don't watch movies for 2 years. I mean, that's all. And so when Dark Knight came out, like right as I started those 2 years, and so for 2 years I heard how awesome the movie was, and so when I first watched Dark Knight, I'm like, that's it, really? Because I had 2 years of hype, and no movie can live up to 2 years of hype. And so ever since then, I've really tried to not hype any movies in my mind because I know that no movie can live up to the type of hype that I give a movie. Um, let's see here. Uh, so Star Wars Gaming says my whole theater started clapping when they showed the intro too. Yeah, mine too. I feel like Tight Talk says the tribute was put at the right time. It would have been right before the title. If it would have been right before the title, it would have seemed forced. Yeah, or during the film, perhaps. Teen Gohan says I feel like Captain Marvel and Thor is gonna have a connection in Avengers End Game. Totally possible. I'm really interested to know, again, if Tony Stark through his dad have any connection to this, if he knows anything. You noticed that, of course, that Tony wasn't in the mid-credit scene, and neither was Thor, as you mentioned. The two people who have some sort of connection to Marvel via the Tesseract. Let's see here. So speaking of, let's see here. Hey, Scotty Verse, what's up? What's up? He says humor was pretty humorous. Nice, man. Let's see here. So Ben Mendelsohn should shoot Hala and Captain Marvel with the Death Star. All right. Hi, Carly. Someone asked for that gold taco. That's for a shout out. Okay, so the Endgame post-credit scene was great, by the way. Do you think it is a little too on point? But I think she is the strongest Thor in Infinity War from what we've seen so far. Now Josh has the right comment here where he says Danny is stronger than Thor and Captain Marvel combined. I mean, let's just end the live stream right there. What else do we need? Okay, but speaking of the mid-credit scene, do you guys? We noticed, of course, that Brie Larson, or excuse me, Captain Marvel, didn't seem to age. So does that mean she was traveling faster than light? Was she using the light speed travel? And also she didn't. She asked the question of where's Fury? Not did he survive or what happened to Fury? It almost seemed like she didn't know about the Thanos snap. That she was unaware that half of the galaxy is no longer living. I mean, did you guys get that vibe? Let me know. Because I totally got the vibe that she didn't know what was going on. And so it's like, where was she if she didn't know about the snap, you know, where did her and the scrolls go? Um, well, you guys ponder and meditate that. Tukeka says, I saw another reviewer and they said that Tony Stark's dad could be working with Dr. Lawson. Yeah, so Howard Stark. That would be cool because the new element Stark discovers for the arc reactor could come from the Kree. Totally. Yeah, I mean, if Lawson got the Tesseract, and we know the last person in the timeline to have it was Howard Stark, Tony's dad, it would make sense that he may have given it to her. I guess it's always possible that she could have stolen it somehow. But I think it's very intriguing. I'm interested to know how she got it from Howard, and why Howard didn't have it, right? So let's see here. So Tight Talk says, from my knowledge, Captain Marvel is the strongest character to be in the MCU. Seeing Thor and her put their incredible strength together, can't wait. It's gonna be awesome. Yeah, it's totally gonna be sweet. I mean, I think we can pretty much guarantee either we are definitely going to get a Captain Marvel Thanos throwdown that'll be sweet, or we're not gonna get it. Obviously, right? It's like either or. But or the filmmakers are going to go out of their way to prevent them from fighting so that she has to indirectly help the other Avengers to defeat Thanos. I mean, possible. You often ask yourself when you're writing, what's the worst thing that can happen? Well, in this case, the best thing that can happen is Captain Marvel comes in and just straight up kills Thanos, or somehow defeats him, to get everybody back or whatever it might be. The worst case scenario is that she dies or she can never fight him or whatever it might be. And Thanos, I'm sure, is going to go out of his way to prevent himself from fighting her. So Samwise J. Morgenstern Gamgee says, well, Captain Marvel is the Lightspeed engine. Yeah, so I think that might explain how she hasn't aged, because she is the Lightspeed engine. All right, so Darth Magnum and 2KK mentioned the mid-credit scene about Captain Marvel not knowing about the snap. 2KK says that he also got the vibe of her not knowing. And Darth Magnus says, I agree with that. The snap affected everywhere. Yeah, totally. So if the snap did affect everywhere, why would she not know? Which makes it interesting. Like, did the snap only affect this galaxy or this universe? I don't know. Maybe they went to an alternate universe. Or the quantum realm. Maybe that's where she took them. Who knows? Okay. So Joshua says, if you pay attention to the trailer where Black Widow was telling someone what happened, this means that she's either telling Ant-Man or Captain Marvel. Hey, that's a good observation. All right. Scottyverse says, wish I can hang out. I'm at an overnight function for Boy Scouts with two of my kids. Everyone's trying to sleep, so I basically have to keep the volume basically off. Catch you later. Hey, Scottyverse. Take care. I'm an Eagle Scout, so good job for your boys being on a Boy Scout trip. Okay. So Team Gohan says, to be honest, I don't think they're going to kill Thanos, because they would just be as him. If they kill him, they're probably going to be in prison or a new planet or something like that. Yeah, I mean, that's possible. When does the hero become the villain? Or as the Dark Knight says, a hero either dies or lives long enough to become the villain, right? So are the Avengers going to kill Thanos? Or is there going to be some other way? Or is Thanos going to somehow kill himself? That's a common trope in these movies, where you don't want to have your hero kill the villain. The villain either kills himself intentionally or unintentionally, in his last desperation efforts to win, or maybe he's going to get sent to prison. Okay, let's see here. Chukeke says, do you think that Fury does not revive an Endgame, and the setup in Spider-Man is like the Hulk in the Avengers trailers? I don't know. I mean, I dropped my paper. I am so on the fence regarding whether or not people should be revived from the snap. Because it's like, I don't know. It's kind of erasing everything that happened if they just revive everybody. It might be interesting if they can only revive some people. Maybe in Doctor Strange's, when he looked at all the millions of probabilities and they only win in one of them, maybe part of that probability is that not all of them can survive in the end, that they can't revive everybody. Who knows? What do you guys think? Um, let's see here. Samwise Gamgee says, "Thanks for the shout out. Love your work. Hey, thanks for joining, man." Talk says, "I think Marvel giving us a Captain Marvel versus Thanos scene would be forced. She didn't know the snap was happening, which therefore I don't feel Marvel would give us that. Possibly." Star Wars Gaming says they could connect the MCU to the Fantastic Four by imprisoning Thanos on the planet where the Fantastic Four got their powers. Cool, man. Speaking of Fantastic Four, do you guys think that, we know that Disney is buying Fox, which therefore means they will be able to own the movie rights to Fantastic Four? Do you guys think that Doctor Doom is going to be the big next villain in the MCU? From what I understand, if they had their choice in the beginning, they would have used Doctor Doom instead of Thanos. That's what I've heard from a few people. So what do you guys think? All right, let's see here. Dalton Ammon says, "This movie was a disappointment to me. Please enlighten us. Not perfect. It's not the best MCU film, but I thought it was still fun." Josh says, "How much you want to bet Thanos will be stuck in the quantum realm?" Hey, that's very probable. Very probable. All right, Thanos versus Darth Vader. Who would win? I think Vader would. It's not a good question. Don't underestimate the power of the Force. All right. I mean, the OG Avengers probably going to have to sacrifice. I think you may be right. I mean, we know that, for instance, Chris Evans is not going to come back as Captain America. It might make sense to kill off the character. Okay. Team Gohan says, "I have a weird vibe that Iron Man and Captain America gotta die. They are the main leader that the Avengers depend on them to. What would the Avengers be like without them?" Yeah, they might die. Now, if I were, what's his name? Robert Downey Jr., the guy who plays Tony Stark, I would not want to die. That guy makes so much money off of these movies. I think on the first Avengers, after all was said and done, he raked in a total of about $50 million. That's just mind boggling to me. Insane. It's like some of these, child YouTube channels that make 40 grand a day. It's ridiculous. All right. Let's see here. Bandicoot, what's up, dude? I always see your bearded picture. He says, "Will you do a Clone Wars S7 talk as well?" I actually was chatting with somebody who's personal friends with Dave Filoni today about season 7 of Clone Wars. He couldn't tell me much, but the stuff he did tell me was pretty sweet. I don't know how much I can say, so I probably shouldn't say anything, but I'm excited for it. But definitely got to talk about that because, I like most people was disappointed when season 6 was the end of all of Clone Wars, and it just kind of felt, it like wrapped up in 2 episodes. Because I know the original plan was to take it all the way up to Chancellor Palpatine's abduction. Or kidnapping, I guess, from Coruscant by General Grievous. Now we got that a little bit in the 2D animated series. I can't remember the guy who did those. Starts with a T. But I would have liked to seen that in the 3D Clone Wars as well. Okay, let's see here. All right, so Darth Magnum. Okay, so he's bringing up a good point a point I definitely wanted to touch down upon. Do you like how Fury got his eye cut up so he has to wear an eye patch? I thought it was humorous, but should have gotten it in a big showdown fight. But it was okay, though. I'm on the fence about it. It's like one of those things where it's been a mystery all of this time. Why does Fury wear the patch? It's always kind of had the scratches. There's constant jokes about it. And so it's like, I think if you're going to do it in a big fight, it's got to be part of a sacrifice or something like that. Like he has to remove his eye to give it to somebody else so they can use the retinal scanner across the ship while he's over here. I don't know. Something crazy like that. Or you go the opposite route, which they did in this film, and have it scratched out by a cat. Or, not a cat, but you know what I mean. Now, I don't know. I'm on the fence. But what I did think was good, which I mentioned in my review, is how they were constantly teasing it. Like, I think he got injured twice in the eye throughout the film. And so you think, oh, that's it. No, that's not it. Oh, that's it. No, that's not it. And so by the time the third time happens, you're not really expecting it anymore. I think exact moments right before I thought, oh, the cat's gonna scratch him in the eye. But I thought generally, they used the rule of three very well in that case. Um, However, I don't know. I don't know if I were to have done it. I probably would have done it differently. I know it's definitely a sore point. I mean, we got Dalton Ammons. He wasn't digging it. Um, he said, "You're right, yeah." So Fury said in Winter Soldier, "The last time I trusted someone, I lost an eye." Um, so we also know in Avengers, basically, that what's his name? Fury has secrets. His secrets have secrets, and so he is a master manipulator. And so oftentimes he says things to get what he wants. So possibly, I mean, I guess in Winter Soldier now with this new canon of how he lost his eye, he was just saying that to get what he wanted. Um, and who knows? Maybe he didn't want to tell people he lost it to a cat. I have no idea. So let's see here. Let's see here. All right. Yeah, Josh says he trusted the cat, I guess. All right, so Darth Magnum says it reminded me of The Last Jedi when Luke tossed his lightsaber when Rey gave it to him. Yeah, it was kind of that type of feeling. So Gold Taco says, I haven't seen Captain Marvel, but I've seen the audience score. Do you think fans responded better to The Last Jedi or Captain Marvel? I don't know. I haven't seen the audience score, so I'm not sure. You may have to enlighten me. All right. Team Gohan says, Peter Parker in the Far From Home trailer, they didn't really meant a Tony in the trailer, so I wonder if they got everyone to erase all the memories of... I'm not quite sure what you're saying. Sorry. All right. So Samwise, see you later, man. Okay. So Dalton says also what a poor choice of directors. I don't know. I wasn't a huge, I didn't mind the direction that it took. Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck, they're a directing team. This was definitely their first big film. I'm looking up the credits right now. This was definitely their first big film. I like that Marvel is taking chances on smaller directors. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. Okay. Okay, a friend sent me pictures, and the audience score is at 38%, but it went up to 50. Says that Gold Taco. Yeah, I think it'll go up. I mean, the people I've talked to that have seen it generally enjoyed it. No film is universally liked, but generally, I think it's being well received. There are a few Marvel films that I don't dig, like Iron Man 3. The whole bit where the Mandarin is some childish actor was kind of lame to me, And so you can have twists in movies. Sometimes they land, sometimes they don't. It's just the way of the game, unfortunately. Are there any other Marvel films you guys did not like? Okay. So Dalton Ammon says, this is the director's first big Avengers movie. Yep. And their other work is just really indie stuff. Danny, when are you going to make a film, bro? I would love to see a film made by you, not including Vader. Me too. There's some things cooking. Making a film always takes a long time. It's an incredibly tedious process to get to not only write it, but get funding, to pre-production and all that stuff. But that's the goal, man. The next goal is a feature film, for sure. And I'm working on it. And some good stuff is happening. All right. Because I want you guys to see a film made by Danny that also does not include Vader. Something totally different outside the Star Wars universe and original. I love playing in the Star Wars sandbox, but gotta spread my wings, man. Okay. Team Gohan says, what I meant, maybe the Avengers erase everyone's memories of all the events of Infinity Wars in Avengers End Game. Hey, possibly. Going a little bit Am I Black on us. General Abdel, hello there, General Kenobi. What's up? All right. So, real quick, the twist that the Kree were the bad guys and the Skrulls were the good guys. What do you guys think? From what I understand, it's in the comics. As you guys know, I'm not a huge connoisseur of the Marvel MCU, Marvel comics. But did you guys like it? Did you guys like the twist? I thought it. I thought without it, the movie would have been pretty lame. But I think with it, it really added a nice layer, especially that it was character based. Where it's guys, it's almost kind of Darth Revan to a degree that she discovers that she's the bad guy. Or she's been with the bad guys the whole time. It's just kind of in reverse to a degree. So it's a cool storytelling device. I liked it because it was character based. It wasn't just simply, you know, plot based. Okay. Darth Magnum says the film was overall a good movie, not great, but good. Comedy was just right, and the direction it took was pretty good, especially with the plot twist. Yeah, I agree. I think it was good, not fantastic, but it was good. I enjoyed it. I especially like the end, when she's just kicking some serious butt. I thought it was pretty sweet when she flies through the entire ship, and the accuser was just like, "All right, we're leaving." I thought it was pretty good. All right. Now our audio says, "Hey, it's Juanito. What's up?" Hey, I did watch it and I liked it. Cool, man. All right. So I got a question, something that didn't quite make sense to me. Maybe I just missed it. But so we know that Dr. Lawson or Marvel with the Tesseract was developing a faster than light travel engine, right? That would allow the scrolls to go away from the Kree. But honestly, I don't understand totally how would developing a super fast engine save the scrolls from the Kree. It's like so that they can just run from them at all times, or that they could go super far away to a planet that would take the Kree too long to get to. I don't know if I missed that or if there's an answer from the comics that I'm not aware of, but does anyone know that? Let me know. Okay. Let's see here. JG says, "Are there any retcons in the film?" You might consider how Fury loses his eye one. Some people consider the Tesseract one, but I don't. Let's see here. I'm looking to see if there's anything that pops out at me. Looking at my notes. There's one bit where you see a picture. It might When you see a picture of Fury in Winter Soldier where he has both of his eyes, yet that would have taken after this film where he loses his eye. So that's definitely kind of a retcon, I guess. But other than that, I think it's pretty solid. I mean, Kevin Feige, it's his entire life's purpose, basically, to keep this intact. Okay. But I maybe just may not have noticed other things. Okay. So, all right. So back to the question that I posed. How does the faster than light engine save the scrolls? Dalton Hammond says, "Going far away helps, I guess. When trying to flee, just run and never return." Totally. Yeah, I mean that's the only thing I can figure. But I don't know if there's, they just go so far away that, they make the travel in 2 seconds. Well, it would take the Kree like 50 million years to get there. I don't know. Okay. Meow, says Vandercoop. Meow. All right. JK Ultra says, "Do you have any ideas for original movies made by you, and what are some of your ideas?" Oh, I would love to share those, but I can't. But yeah, I got some sweet ideas. My goal, I have like 2 ideas that I absolutely love that are totally original, but they're quite big. They're kind of like a Captain Marvel budget type. So my goal is I want to make an awesome film that's about sub $10 million, that will just blow the socks off you, and from there hopefully get the ability to do a Marvel film, but hopefully to do my 2 big ideas that I think are so fun that I just get giddy thinking about. I'm not going to share them because I love them so much, and but that's my goal. make a film, and then eventually be able to do those two. But they're so sweet. Okay. Team Gohan says, "What would the Avengers be like if Captain Marvel was with them from the very first Avenger movie?" Well, we wouldn't be, I think, in the position of the Thanos Snap, for sure. That is fairly well documented. Nick Fury or Samuel Jackson answered the question of why didn't Fury call her earlier. He essentially said because he didn't think they needed her. I mean, think what you will about that, but it is what it is. Okay. Dalton Ammon says, "Do you have anything written down? Any scripts of things that can become a film?" Yes, I have 2 scripts. 3 scripts. 3 scripts that are all written in beautiful black and rainbow ink. Okay, let's see here. Riverdale Tales. The movie was decent and generic, probably a 6.5 out of 10. Good to watch, but nothing special, but certainly worth watching. Totally agree it was worth watching. You guys know my metric. Will I see a movie again? That's kind of, it's a very simple metric. Will I want to watch it again? And Captain Marvel for me falls in that category. Yeah, I want to watch it again. Will I want to watch it 14 times like I do episode 3 Revenge of the Sith every week? Probably not. But definitely good enough to watch again. Now, I did watch Dumb and Dumber 2 this week, and that movie is not good enough to watch again. Oh my goodness. I am a huge fan of Dumb and Dumber, the original. Not Dumb and Dumber. I thought that was stupid. But Dumb and Dumber 2, oh my goodness. It was embarrassing. Okay. That Gold Taco says, "Can we see the script for episode 2? That's a big negative. Let's see. Darth Magnum says, "I mostly want to see this movie so I could see how Captain Marvel fits in Endgame." Well, it definitely answers that question. I mean, it's an origin story, plain and simple. And I think it was, in the great timing of how they're releasing all the films, I think it was good timing. They tease her in Infinity War, show us who she is in Endgame, in this movie, and now in Endgame we know who we're dealing with. So I think it was good all around. Okay. What I felt missing from the movie was a last fall and stand back up moment for Carol when she is in space mode. After she learns to fly, she just seems to increase in power without any conflict. Hey, that's a good observation, 2KK. Tell me if I'm saying your name right. I'm saying it like it'd be a Spanish word, but I have no idea. I think that's a good observation. What could that have been? Could she have been hit? I don't know. Okay, let's see here. All right, so Dalton Ammon says, here's a question. How would you go about making a film? You obviously have scripts or ideas. What would you make a script or pitch to a studio? Or is it more than just that? It depends on the idea and how big the budget is. I am actively pitching to people, to studios, both large and big, to get something funded. So if you guys happen to know really rich people who are very interested in awesome filmmakers, let me know. Let them know about me. Okay. Let's see here. All right. I'm going back. Okay. That Gold Taco says Revenge of the Sith is my favorite movie. Mine too. Noah Tiger Stripes. Hello there. What's up? Welcome to the stream. All right, so Darth Magnus says she did say emergencies only, but wouldn't the first Avengers count as emergency when they were fighting it out in New York? You would think so. You would think that was a pretty big emergency, especially when Iron Man has to go across the universe to stop a nuclear bomb. Yeah. Okay. Vandercoop says, "Will you and/or Star Wars Theory record and upload the Pasadena panel?" I think we will. I think we'll record it. Maybe even just stream it live, straight up. Darth Thanos says, "Do you like Pokemon?" When I was a kid, Pokemon was really huge. Like when I was in elementary school and junior high, maybe. And I was super into Pokemon. Like they had like Nintendo Game Boy. They had the red version and blue version. I had blue version, so I'd have to like trade with Pokemon with my friends who had red version because The red and blue version each had only 130 Pokemon. So back in my day, there was only 151 Pokemon, including Mewtwo or Mew or whatever the thing was. Um, so yeah, I did like Pokemon. I haven't. I've been very out of the game. I really know nothing about it now. I know my goal was to always to get a holographic Charizard card, and I never got it. I'm taking that to the grave, guys. It was a disappointment on my life. All right. Let's see here. Team Gohan says, think Endgame could be. I think Endgame could have been an awesome opportunity for Silver Surfer. Hey, that'd be sweet. I mean, I'm really interested to see how they incorporate the Fantastic Four into the MCU when the Fox merger goes down. Okay. Josh Lounge says, I'm very interested in why War Machine has a Hulkbuster in a Lego set. Is it because he fights Thanos in it, or Banner? Is Lego just giving something kids play with? Good question. These are questions of the soul. These are questions that the world should be asking themselves, guys. All right. Noah Tiger Stripes. What is up, dude? Do you like the Transformers series? So I'm a big fan of the first Transformers movie. I think it's awesome. I'm a pretty big supporter of the way Michael Bay makes his films. At least most of his earlier films. Like I really like The Rock and Armageddon. I love Armageddon. I mean, I think it came out in '96, so a lot of people haven't seen it these days, but I love that film. But I think he's definitely gotten away from. I mean, there's just no story in most of his films anymore. I have not seen Bumblebee, which he didn't direct, but yeah, I've been a little disillusioned with the Transformers franchise. It feels like there's so much. Oh wait, that's not true. This is actually what happened. Oh wait, those people actually weren't the bad guys. These are really the bad guys. There's so much like the world is just so convoluted. It feels like to me. But I think there is no filmmaker in all of cinema that can integrate visual effects and live action better than Michael Bay. So you got to give him props on that. Okay. Riverdale Tales says, do you plan to continue to expand your YouTube channel to do something big and upload consistent? Well, as you guys know, this channel is mostly just for fun for me. I'm not monetized. Mostly just because I don't have 4,000 watch hours, to be honest. But it's for fun. A lot of my videos, when I make a video, I study film constantly, always trying to make myself a better filmmaker and director. And so oftentimes I'll find something that really intrigues me, and so I make a video on it for you guys. And it also helps me remember. The big thing that I'm doing next is I'm going through every single Spielberg film and analyzing how he opens every movie. Just to see if there's a pattern. Is there something that he always does? How does he, is there a certain way that he always introduces characters? But mostly, what is the first scene of every Spielberg movie? So I'm going to do that and make a video on it eventually. It's going to probably take a little while. But yeah, I would love to be a YouTube channel that has, 10 million subscribers. It'd be awesome. So make it happen, guys. I mean, all 17 of you who are watching right now. Okay. But thanks for watching, seriously. So Noah again asked, do you have a Discord server? I don't. I was thinking about making one for film talk and stuff. Dalton Ammon says, I think James Wan has a program or something for small filmmakers who want to be recognized and share their ideas. That's a good idea. I think James Wan did a great job with Aquaman. Darth Thanos says, Revenge of the Sith got me into Star Wars. Sweet. I'm glad. Welcome to the nerd herd of Star Wars. All right. Nar Audio, Juanito says, inside the movie universe, yeah, it could count as emergency. Okay, so he's talking about the New York Avengers battle. So he's saying inside the movie universe, yeah, it could count as emergency from a realistic point of view, I don't think they had planned Captain Marvel movie that early. I think you're right, Juan. It may have been in the back of their minds, but maybe by that time, I don't know. It's hard to say. I think now I'm pretty sure they have a pretty long thing planned out because they know their movies are being so successful, and people keep predicting the demise of the films, but I think Captain Marvel made $51 million last night, and so it's not going anywhere, it seems, anytime soon. I mean, I thought when Doctor Strange came out, that would be the end, and then Ant-Man came out, I thought that would be the end, but or vice versa. I can't remember which one came out first, but I think it's a lesson that the Star Wars universe can learn is that if they make awesome Star Wars films, like I loved Rogue One, you know, if they make these awesome Star Wars films that just get, you know, that are, you know, great stories that tie all the films together, that truly create a universe, I don't think they have to worry about Star Wars fatigue. You know, it's my personal opinion. All right. Let's see here. Ooh, my goodness. My goodness. I'm way behind. Okay. So that gold taco says Star Wars Theory cut me out from the premiere questions video. I asked what was your favorite parts of Shards of the Past at the 8 p.m. showing. Like my favorite part of the film? The Padme Vader scene, for sure. All right. Star Wars Tiger Stripe, Star Wars The Clone Wars Season 2 got me into Star Wars. Yeah, what got you guys into Star Wars? This is kind of an MCU talk, but maybe what got you into the MCU? All right. So Darth Anna says, I'm 52 and I just got into Pokemon video games. Nice, man. If you can, definitely get a Nintendo Game Boy with like red or blue version. I think there was a gold and silver version too. But the red and blue were the first ones. That was the equivalent of, you know, playing Candy Crush. For me, it was I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop. It was awesome. All right. And now our audio says I never finished a Pokemon game. Oh, Juan, you disappoint me, as Count Dooku says. JG asked, have you played Knights of the Old Republic? Yes, the best video game of all time. I love that game. Oh my goodness. I was disappointed by the second Knights of the Old Republic. I just thought the ending was pretty weak. You know, the ending for the first one is just so choice. It's just smooth like a baby bottom Mace Windu, as I said in my yesterday's video. It's just so good. Okay, let's see here. Force Awakens got me into Star Wars. Is that cool, Taco? Hey, I'm glad. I'm glad that Force Awakens did that. Tucker Danzy is here. What's up, Tucker? My goodness, I am way behind. I'm way behind. Let's see here. Tukeke, I'm saying your name right. Good. Hey, Danny, on Star Wars Theory's Instagram, he had Lucasfilm in his contacts. Do you know anything? Oh, I know anything. That's all I can say. Let's see here. Bumblebee is great. Bumblebee's a great movie. Some people are saying it revived a Transformers movie. Should have been all this. It revived what a Transformers movie should have been all this time. Hey, that's good enough. I still haven't seen it. I feel like a person who's worthless, and I have not seen it. I'm sorry. I need to. I mean, I know one of the chief sound designers on it. When he was working on it, we went out to lunch and he was telling me all about it. I was super excited, but I just never did it. The sound designer, one of the sound editors on Transformers and who does most of the Michael Bay's films, was the main lead actor in the first feature film I directed as a freshman in college. And so we've stayed in contact. At that time, he wanted to be a director. And he auditioned. I mean, he, among dozens of actors, he auditioned for the lead role in this film I was doing. It was a very cheap film, taught me a ton, but he wanted to do it so he would know what it felt like to be an actor for when he was a director. Now he has not become a director, not yet at least, but he's super talented. He totally could be in the moment he decides he wants to, but he's extremely talented sound designer. I digress. I'm sorry. Okay. Let's see here. Doing YouTube is fun. For fun is more fun. Says Type Talk. That's why I'm super excited to work with you. Sweet. Jasmine Brown 011 gained a new sub. Welcome to the Spiffy Nerd Herder channel, Jasmine. You are more than welcome to be here. Thank you very much. All right. Let's see here. Okay. So real quick, any other favorite parts from Captain Marvel? My favorite part certainly was the very end when she's just full power, flying through the ship, when she throws Jude Law's character, 300 feet into stone. I did see it coming because I'm thinking, oh, she's just gonna, he's gonna try to go into this monologue speech, and she's just gonna toss him, and she did. But I still thought it was cool, especially since it was like a straight line right to the rocks. It wasn't like an arced throw or anything. I thought it was good. All right. So Tucker asked, I just saw Captain Marvel today. Is that what we're talking about? We are, Tucker. So we talked about the Tesseract timeline. How did the Tesseract get into the film? We talked about my biggest question is, does Carol or Captain Marvel know about the Infinity Snap? Does she know that half of the universe is dead now? Because it seemed to me that she didn't know. A few of you guys have chimed in, and I don't think anyone has mentioned that they thought that they got the impression that she did know, but most of you said that you got the impression that she didn't know. So let me know if any of you guys think otherwise. Because if she doesn't know, how does she not know? I mean, it's like we're under the impression that the snap obliterated half of all life everywhere. So if she doesn't know, is it possible that wherever she was, the snap did not affect? I don't know. I'm anxious to know. Let's see here. Dalton Hammond says, hey, not trying to brag on anyone, but I got a job at McDonald's recently. Boom. Cool, man. Send me a double quarter pounder with cheese, no onions, with fries, and a lemonade. All right. Naradio says, episode 4 got him into Star Wars. Josh says, honestly, I have no idea how I got into the MCU. I mean, I think I just started with the MCU. I mean, I remember seeing X-Men, the original Bryan Singer X-Men when it came out in 2001, I think it was. And then Spider-Man came out shortly after 9/11. I mean, I've been watching these movies from the beginning. All right. Man, I'm old. Jeez. Now our audio says, what got me into the MCU? Iron Man. Joined early. Yeah. You got to give Jon Favreau some mad props for setting the tone for the entire MCU. I mean, bringing in a realism, but with humor, really had not been done to that degree before. I mean, we had, of course, the original 60s Batman, which was like over the top ridiculous, like a comic book. And then, of course, we had the Tim Burton movie, which was full on serious. Then we had the Joel Schumacher Batmans, which were the Joel Schumacher Batmans. So Jon Favreau really invented almost a new genre, the superhero genre, even though we had superhero movies before. But this seriousness with humor, and every other MCU movie has followed that lead. So whether or not the idea originated with John or with Kevin Feige, who knows? But pretty sweet. Okay. Let's see here. I'm way behind in the comments, guys. I'm losing them. I'm losing it. Stay on target. Okay, so somebody says the city was photoreal. Yeah, I mean, that opening shot of Krill or Kree, I don't know, whatever the planet is called. It was like photoreal. I was like blown away by it. I thought it looked so good. Tide Talk says, I gotta go. See you, Danny. Hey, see you, man. Yeah. Let's see here. Tucker T says, Brie Larson is an incredible actor. My favorite parts were the intimate parts with Fury. I agree. I thought I was pleased by how she played her character. Now, regarding her character, one of the things I mentioned in my review yesterday is that, when she wakes up and she, at the beginning, she doesn't know who she is, and so she's unsure of herself as a character. It was a little bit difficult for me to kind of attach with her because I felt like, I don't know, it was just because she didn't know who she was. I was unsure of who she was. I don't know. Did anybody else feel that way, where it was kind of difficult to relate to her at the beginning, but as the film went on, it got easier and easier? Let me know. Let's see here. So, Dalton Ammon says, ew, lemonade. Oh, you're hating on lemonade? Pink lemonade. All right. I wasn't a soda drinker in college at all, or in high school at all, and that's probably the last time I ate a quarter pounder with cheese. All right. But no free food for me. Oh, I'm so disappointed. Okay. Charlie says, the origin of the loss of Mace's eye. LOL, I mean Nick Fury. All right. So Darth Magnum says his favorite part was the end fight scene when she becomes unleashed with her full potential, and they play "I'm Just a Girl in a World." Yeah, when that first started, the dun 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 dun, dun or whatever the beat is for that No Doubt song, I was like, oh my goodness, yeah, I thought it was a good use of the song. Gwen Stefani certainly made a pretty penny of them using that song. Okay. Tucker T says, I watch these movies with my son and he knows everything about the comics and it's a little annoying. That's probably how my wife feels when she watches like a Star Wars movie with me. Let's see here. Josh says, it's either, so going back to, does Captain Marvel know about the snap from Infinity War? He says, it's either that Captain Marvel knows the snap happened and was asking where Fury is to talk business, or is worried Fury was affected by the snap too. Or she doesn't know, and that's why she asked. Yeah, I mean, those are probably the three options. I got the feeling she did not know about the snap. Just the way she was acting like she didn't know. Of course, she didn't know who the people were. But the way she asked, where's Fury? Or what happened to Fury? Where's Fury? Whatever she says, I just got the feeling like she was not implying, is he alive? It's more like, who are you guys and why do you have Fury's transponder? What's wrong? Okay. Let's see here. Nar Audio says, we don't talk about Batman Forever. Batman Forever. I remember when that came out, I was in love with Dr. Chase Meridian. That would be news to my wife. I think, who played her? Nicole Kidman. But I was like, I don't know, 12 at the time. Okay. Let's see here. JG says, honestly, more excited for Game of Thrones. You know what, guys? I have never seen a Game of Thrones episode. I know. Tie me up and burn me at the stake, but I've never seen it. Okay. Let's see here. Dalton Hammond says, my favorite part of the movie was the mid-credits scene. Also the Stan Lee cameo and intro to the movie. Rest in peace, Stan. Yeah, the intro was pretty sweet, but the mid-credits scene was awesome. Okay. Bandicoot says, I can't wait when it gets to the point where Danny's chat goes through as fast as Star Wars theories, even faster. To the point where he can only respond to super chats. You'll get there soon, my man. Thanks, Bandicoot. With the 14 of you who are watching, we will get there. We will achieve a power greater than any Jedi. All right. Let's see here. All right. Jasmine Brown, new to the channel, she says, I'm watching Captain Marvel tomorrow and knowing all these spoilers. Oh my goodness, you haven't seen it yet? Oh, I'm sorry we have ruined everything. But you'll enjoy it. Charlie says, your power will be unlimited. It's funny, when we were shooting Vader, and in one take, Steve, the guy who plays Sidious when he's electrocuting Vader and, prior, when Vader's using the Red Guard to block the lightning, in one take, we had him yell, power, unlimited power. But it didn't work, and we only did it for one take. We're like, it was worth a try, but we didn't do it. Okay. Let's see here. So Josh says, if Danny's chat doesn't speed up like Star Wars theories, I will riot. Josh, thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Darth Thanos says there is too much sexual content in Game of Thrones to watch. That's one of the reasons I don't watch it, to be honest. All right. Let's see here. Going back to, these are my talking points for Captain Marvel. Any Easter eggs? Was there any Easter eggs that you guys thought were really cool from Captain Marvel that you noticed? Any Easter eggs? While you guys are thinking about that, Noah Tiger Stripe says, when is episode 2 of Vader coming out? I don't know. There's a lot of factors involved. The second episode is bigger, therefore más dinero. And so we're working on that. But it's, oh my gosh, guys, it's going to be so sweet. So I hope we can make it very, very soon. Next month. And release it in July. I don't know. That's not going to happen. But the sooner the better, every time I speak with Star Wars Theory, which is frequently, I say, you know what? I'm in it to win it. I'm here when it happens. Okay. Um, so let's see here. Let's see here. Man, this is the Chipotle channel now. We should call this Spiffy Chipotle Herder or something. Um, okay, so a fan's perspective says I didn't notice anything interesting regarding the Easter eggs. Um, let's see here. Let's see here. There were, I mean, of course, this isn't an MCU Easter egg, but there was the True Lies poster that she blows up in Blockbuster. And a fun fact, that Blockbuster is actually a Blockbuster. It is the last remaining Blockbuster in the entire world. It's in Oregon, and they actually filmed it there. And the movie she picks up is All the Right Stuff, which is a movie about space. And then Destroying True Lies. From what I hear, the directors Anna and Ryan wanted to have her blow up a poster of The Mask. The Jim Carrey movie, The Mask. If you haven't seen it, you got to see it. It's one of Jim Carrey's breakout films. It's Cameron Diaz's first film. Absolutely hilarious. At least I remember it to be. Maybe it would be super cheesy if I were to watch again. But they wanted to use that poster, but the studio wouldn't give permission, unfortunately. I don't know why. It's like awesome advertising for a movie that's been dead for 20 years. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, so Charlie, you mentioned the Blockbuster and the '90s nostalgia. Yeah, there's tons of '90s nostalgia. It was funny, when Fury's like, "This is a state of the art two-way pager." Like, oh, that's cute, Fury. That's cute. Let's see here. The Radio Shack nostalgia, of course. Okay, so Josh says, I gotta ask, I really do, but will we get to see an LAAT in the second episode of the Vader fan film with the 501st dropping off ready to assist Vader? We will see. We will see. All right. All right, so I could really go for some Olive Garden. They got some good breadsticks, says Dalton Evans. That is true. That is true. Olive Garden now owes me $5 for promoting their breadsticks. Okay. Bandicoot says, wasn't enough 90s music, though. Now that you mention it, I only remember a few instances of 90s music. You're right. Of course, there's the No Doubt song. There was the song where her and Fury are driving to the NASA Air Force compound, the Pegasus place or whatever. But yeah, it's using songs in a film is an extremely delicate situation because it's so easy to overuse them, especially in a piece, in a period piece like this. So maybe I'm sure that was their worry. They didn't want to overuse it. It's also extremely expensive to use other people's songs in a movie because the contracts require basically residuals forever. You sell a DVD, you got to pay them. It streams, you got to pay them. So it's extremely expensive to use somebody else's song. So you really got to be in love with the song in your film to use it. Okay. Make way for the boys in blue, says That Cool Taco. Okay. Let's see here. Come As You Are, Nirvana. Yeah. Okay. In episode 2, could you guys add a flashback of Order 66? That would be cool to see. I guess it's possible. We've already seen Order 66. That Cool Taco says, I will recite Shards of the Past if I have to. Sweet. There isn't any way out of this. What are you doing? Says Nar Audio. Juan was our supervising sound editor on the film, so he knows those music just well. So Charlie says, wasn't Nirvana in there, or is it just me? Yeah. Vandecoop mentioned that it was Come As You Are by Nirvana. Oh, hi, Mark, says Dalton Ammons. Okay, so Darth Magnum says, Atomic Blonde is a good example of overusing that certain era of music. That was the Charlize Theron film, right? I never saw it, but I'd be interested to know how many songs they used, if you felt that it was overused. Let's see here. So we have That Gold Taco currently live tweeting all the lines from the Shards of the Past. I gotta admit, guys, my son knows the film better than I do. It's pretty funny. All right. Scaling Fragments. Hey, not. I don't know if have you commented before. I haven't seen your name before. Welcome. Um, what a story, Spiffy Nerd Herder. I hope that's being legitimately funny. All right, let's see here. Do you agree that they don't need to release any trailer for Endgame and people will still go see it? Oh, I 100% agree. If there's ever been a film in the history of the world that they do not need to release a trailer for, it's probably Endgame, um, because the hype is real. There's no struggle when the hype is this real. Let me tell you. JG says good night, Sir Spiffy. Good night, JG. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Naradi says I wish they hadn't released trailers for Endgame. All right. So that Gold Taco continues with her live tweet of Vader. Shards of the Past, Episode 1. I destroyed your enemies. Forge for you an empire. But like the Jedi, you have left me a mere shadow of what I was promised. You have taken everything. That's right on. That's exactly right. So Scaling Fragment says, I feel like I have commented. I can't remember, but here I am. I like your video styles. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. One of my favorite parts to making my videos is finding the little movie clips to put in them. I was driving to Arizona with my dad to do research for a movie about car racing, and he asked me, he's like, so how do you know, how do you get all those clips? I'm like, it is the unfortunate result of a wasted talent of a memory. Like from when I've been very little, I can watch a movie once and I essentially have it memorized. And so I'll just be sitting there thinking, I'll think, what can fit here? And I don't know. It's like, I don't know. Like I said, it's a talent that has had little use until making these videos and coming up with all the random little quotes to put in there. All right. Let's see here. So Joshua Lounge says, let's see here. Says, do you think that Captain Marvel will play a big role in Endgame, or do you think she will only teach the Avengers how to beat Thanos? I have no idea. Legitimately, I have no clue. I think it would certainly, I don't think she can just defeat him, because then what's the point of the other Avengers? Then it should be called Captain Marvel Endgame. But she clearly is going to have to be a big, big point. So the big thing that I think that after watching Captain Marvel is there's no time travel. At least on the surface, there's no time travel in Captain Marvel. That makes me happy because I really hope that the way they defeat Thanos is not time travel, because to me, time travel is just such a cop-out. It's such a convenient way to win. So, let's see here. All right, so Nar Audio says, also while I was watching Captain Marvel, I felt like they could have saved some moments for the movie, like the introduction of Fury. I assume you're talking about the Captain Marvel trailers. While watching the Captain Marvel trailers, you felt like they should have saved the Fury's introduction for the film. Sorry, Juan. All right, so the live tweet of Shards of the Past continues. Everything foolish, boy. You grieve for the dead wife of an insolent Jedi. You did say it wrong. You grieve for the dead wife of an insolent Jedi. Your precious Padme's fate was your choice, just as your fate is mine. All right. Amethyst Blade. Better believe it. I want to know how many of you Googled Amethyst Blade after watching Shards of the Past just to confirm in your mind if it was purple. I want to know that. Let me know. All right, so Nar Audio says, I totally understand that clip thing. I always wanted something like a little robot from Flubber that played clips from old films. Weibo, was it? Yeah, I think it was Weibo or something like that. My caring for you will always remain, says Panikin. I was about to say Panikin. Says Padme. And that is why you'll never defeat me. Fans' perspective agrees about time travel. Yeah, it just gets messy, and I think it's just too convenient. Not unfocused, hidden. Wow, we're going straight up Shards of the Past quotes right now. All right. One does not simply get their own movie and play a role in Endgame. Oh, Lord of the Rings. That's a lovely Boromir quote. Pretty sure he said exactly that, too. Any Lord of the Rings fans? Are you 16 people watching? Thanks so much for chilling. We'll probably wrap it up here fairly soon. Okay, let's see here. Scaling fragment. Now you can't stop typing. I love it. I love it. He says, I remember Star Wars Theory mentioned in that Q&A recently said Ahsoka and stuff may be incorporated if it makes sense. Yeah, that's about all I'll say. All right. Charlie says, dude, Danny, I seen on your Instagram that NASCAR you were hanging out in. Is that hinting at something in the future? Possibly. Yeah, it's a film that I'm involved in at the moment. Yeah, that's about all I can say. But yes, it was a NASCAR. It was an old NASCAR car. All right. Oh, is the seventh. Oh, is the slave, young Skywalker. All right. So, Nar Audio says, I Googled amethyst. There we go. Anybody else? Anybody else Google the word amethyst when after watching the film, just to confirm in your mind that amethyst blade didn't mean purple lightsaber. Why did we say amethyst blade? Because it sounds lame to say the clones there report he wields a purple lightsaber. It's like, what do you expect? Mace Windu to start doing the disco or something like that? No. All right. Let's see here. So, but Dennis, hey, what's up? No, because I followed Star Wars Theory and I knew it was Mace. I didn't know Amethyst until then. All right. Vandercoop says me, but I already knew it meant purple, but I still looked it up. Yeah, I think like it's that color that when you hear it, like it's purple, like you're 99% sure that's purple, but you want to be 100% sure, so you still look it up. Because I did not write that line. That was a Nikolai Vipe-Olsen line, the Amethyst Blade. So guys, I don't think I looked it up because I just trusted that. I think I trust Nikolai completely, just as I trust Star Wars Theory, and so I've never asked Star Wars Theory if he looked it up. I can't remember, but it was fun. All right. Okay, so Troy Llewellyn asked, how do you feel about time travel? Good or bad? Will Endgame use it? I am not a fan of time travel in this type of circumstance, aka using time travel to fix a problem that's already happened. Just mostly because it feels too convenient for me. If they're going to use time travel, people straight up got to die as a result. There's got to be consequences to using time travel. Like the people who time travel can never come back, or I don't know. But to me, if it's a simple solution, then it's just no good, and I don't think they will because of that. I think they've got a good head on their shoulders, the guys who are doing this. Okay. Vandercoop says, yeah, I forgot Captain Marvel as soon as I walked out of the theater. So not a fan, huh? All right. So Dennis says, I think Captain Marvel will be a background character in Endgame. Tony Stark will say, new chick to the B Squad. Endgame will be won by the original Avengers. Well, we'll see. Let's see. How many? Okay. That Gold Taco has finally finished her marathon tweet session of Shards of the Past. And she says, I would like to thank unnamed teacher for giving me so much free time to watch Shards of the Past. Good for that teacher. Darth Magnus says, I'm a Lord of the Rings fan. Scalene Fragment says that the knowledge of amethyst was in the subconscious, so he knew that it was purple. Dalton Amethyst says, I had no clue what amethyst blade meant. Let's see here. It sounds a lot fancier than saying purple blade. Yes, it does. Okay. Let's see here. Noah Tiger Stripe says, could you guys add Vader having a flashback of Anakin, Ahsoka, and Captain Rex together? That'd be fun. Dennis says, personally, time travel only works with a DeLorean. Yep. And you need to go 88 miles an hour and you need 1.21 gigawatts of power. All right. Or a hot tub. Nar Audio says Endgame will hopefully, see the end of Captain America or Iron Man. Maybe both. Yeah, what do you guys think? Let's assume for a moment that Endgame needs to kill off some of the Avengers to accomplish the goal of defeating Thanos. Who do you think should die? Which ones? What do you guys think? Uh, so Ron Navy does make the legitimate. So concerning time travel, Ron Navy definitely observes that there's the time stone, and that they already reversed time when Thanos reversed it after the Infinity Stone was destroyed. So it's already been done. Totally true. So it's just the question of if they use time travel, what cost will it be? I think there's got to be a cost for it, just because it's time travel. It's like if I could time travel, I could do anything I wanted. So I hope that there's some sort of cost to it. All right. So Dennis says Captain America dies. Tony Stark lives with guilt of surviving. Very possible. I hate to think it, but I think Cap's gonna bite it, says Charlie. That Gold Taco says if I could time travel, I would go back to December 20th, 2018. Indeed, it is a day that changed the way we looked at American cinema. Or Canadian cinema, because Star Wars Theory is Canadian. All right. There are really 7 Infinity Stones in the comics. Yeah, I mean, we got the secret, the secret stones with the, what's the person's name? The original life or whatever. I can't remember. I'm not super in tune with it all, but I wonder if the other additional stones will come into play. Yeah, Star Wars Theory is Canadian. Let's see here. Scaling Fragment says, I'd go back to when horses were our cars. I actually had an idea for an animated film that involves horses and cars. But now that I'm thinking about it, I probably shouldn't share it. But it's that I'll say it, that horses are tired of pulling all of our buggies everywhere, and so they are actively behind the invention of the car, so they don't have to pull the carriages anymore. I think it'd be a funny DreamWorks film or something like that. All right. Dennis says, I just got back from watching Captain Marvel. I thought her laser bolts and light speeding through space really jumped the shark. I liked the visual effect, and I liked her, whatever, her fist bolts or whatever. Now, talking about her fist, did anybody else notice that whenever she was walking, she always has clenched fist? It was like one of the few things that really kind of was like, it's just kind of ridiculous. But I liked her powers. The one thing that I did not enjoy, which I mentioned in my review, is that I thought there were way too many slow motion shots. It was like for slow motion for the sake of slow motion. You look at a film like The Matrix, they use the slow motion when it's needed. But yeah. All right. Yeah. No sharing my brilliant horse idea. Okay. Vandercoop says that Brie Larson needed to smile more. I did think it was funny. She smiled a lot. Of course, she was little more serious than most. But you look at male characters. They often don't smile too. I don't know if Captain America ever smiles, especially in the latest films. But she smiles in the first 2 minutes when she's on that fancy dancy train or whatever. Okay. Now our audio says, I'm almost 100% sure that the room was to blame, but I wasn't a great fan of the sound. I much watch it again in IMAX. I didn't notice anything regarding the sound. But who knows? That Gold Taco says, does Obi-Wan ever smile? Only part that comes to mind is when him and Anakin say goodbye when he is going to Utapau. He says, goodbye, my old friend. May the force be with you. I think he smiles there. So we got one. And he also says, you were right about one thing, Master. The negotiations were short. Smiles there, too. So Obi-Wan's got some smiles. Okay. Dalton Ammons observes that in ILM, Industrial Light and Magic, which is the company that George started, did the visual effects. They do it for most of the Marvel movies, and Skywalker Sound does the sound, also George Lucas Company. Yep. You better believe it. All right. Jasmine Brown. Is anybody excited for the other Captain Marvel movie, Shazam? I am. You know, I don't really know much about DC's Captain Marvel, but I think it's going to be legit. I think it's going to be very. I mean, it seems like it's very much in the vein of an MCU film. I think, you know, DC's grand experiment with the super serious, gritty, dark superhero movies has failed completely. So they're definitely trying to go more the MCU route. And, you know, I think it's smart. I think once they kind of find their groove and please the fans, then they can experiment again a little bit more. But I'm excited for Shazam. I think it'll be cool. Henry Cavill never smiles as Superman. Mr. J, you are so right. And that's one of the things that bothered me. It's like every time you see Superman or Clark, he's like, he's like so in utter inner turmoil. I thought it was lame. Okay. When they talk about the Gundarks in episode 2, he smiles. That's right. He even laughs a little bit. That little chuckle. Yeah. He also does when he says he's not brave enough for politics after saving Chancellor Palpatine. The man George Lucas definitely revolutionized cinema of Star Wars. No doubt. All right. Let's see here. Vandercoop says, too bad Kathleen Kennedy and Ryan didn't incorporate George's sequel trilogy treatments. I'm very interested to know what they were about. There's plenty of rumors about what those treatments entailed, but to me they're just rumors. Okay, Dalton Hammond says that Superman does smile with his weird mustacheless CG face in Justice League. Yeah, my goodness. All right. What do you normally put in your videos besides hot sauce? Burritos, not videos. When I go to Chipotle, I think I either do the carne asada or the barbacoa. But I put in 3 scoops of their hottest hot sauce. I love hot sauce. Savannah Coop says, they're not rumors. Look at the George Lucas interview with Charlie Rose on YouTube. He mentions those sequel trilogy treatments. All right. I do need to look that up. I do. All right. So let's wrap this up, guys, for real quick here. I'm going to look for my paper to see if I forgot anything, which I seem to have lost, or some cat with weird tentacles ate it. What is it called? A firkin? It's like a Between Two Ferns with Jack Galifianakis or something. Okay. Yeah, we talked about everything I wanted to talk about. So my biggest questions now going into Endgame are, does Carol know about the Infinity Snap? Does she know that half of the universe has been obliterated? Because to me, it seemed like she did not know. And if she does not know, how? Because everything that we've been led to believe up to this point implies that the snap did everything. That it affected everywhere. Is the tesseract? Does the tesseract? We're not going to find this out in Endgame because the tesseract's been destroyed by Thanos to get the one of the stones at the beginning of Infinity War. But how did Marvel get the tesseract? Was she given it by Howard Stark or what? And then that's about it. My biggest question is essentially, of course, like everybody, how are they going to defeat Thanos? But also, if Marvel doesn't know, if Captain Marvel doesn't know about the snap, how does she not know? Because to me, when she asked where Fury is, to me it sounded like she didn't know what was going on. All right, but I could be totally wrong. I could be looking into that. But a few of you have mentioned the same thing, that you felt like she didn't know what was going on. Dalton M says, I hope Adam Warlock becomes the next big baddie. And then Ron Navy says, I want Loki back. Long live Loki. Man, that's a good hashtag. Long live Loki. um, they never call her Captain Marvel, right? I don't know. I don't know if they do. I can't remember. Okay. Victor. Hey, Victor. He says, I think that Captain Marvel will find out about the snap when she goes to visit Maria, but Maria is gone, but the grown up Monica is there. Possibly. Yeah, because it's been a long time, 20 years or whatever, since 1995 is when Captain Marvel takes place, and roughly 15 years, I guess. Okay. That Gold Taco has asked, will you cast me as a Jedi for episode 2? Okay. Alright, so Josh says it's getting pretty late, but he asked when the next stream is. I don't know. I mean, do you guys like the live streams? I appreciate that the 16 of you are watching. I love doing these. So, but Dennis asked, why doesn't Captain Marvel age? So we talked a little bit about that earlier. Possibly because she is the embodiment of the light speed engine. So we know that when you're traveling at the speed of light, that time essentially stays still. If you travel faster than speed of light, which is impossible in our physics, that you can go backwards in time. So possibly her flying there de-aged her. She aged a bit, but when she flew back faster than the speed of light, she de-aged back to what she was. I don't know. I mean, possibly. Who knows? Or Darth Magnet says it's just possibly the power she absorbed, that energy of the tesseract that she absorbed from the lightspeed engine. Maybe that just prevents her from aging. Who knows? Let's see here. Josh says more streams. Dalton Amos says I love the streams. You should definitely do more when you got time. I love the streams. That Gold Taco says I love the streams. Or was it the effect of the Tesseract, as Dennis says? Charlie says, dude, love your live streams. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. All right. Definitely share the channel. Share the channel, guys. Tell all your friends about it. Tell your mom. Tell your dad. Tell the Flurkins living underneath your bed. All right. So, thanks for joining tonight, guys. I'm going to head off. I can hear my wife cleaning in the kitchen, so I should probably go help and be, a really useful engine, as Thomas says. So, but thanks so much for joining. If you haven't seen Captain Marvel, go check it out. If you have, which I hope you did, if you're watching this, thanks for joining and talking. And I love all your guys' comments, and I love interacting with you. I agree. If we had 3,000 people, it would be hard to interact, like we do. But let's get 3,000 people on the streams. So Darth Thanos is going to tell his AI girlfriend. All right. Big fan of the movie Her, huh? Okay, guys. Well, thanks so much. I am going to sign off here. Watch Shards of the Past again, too. Tell your friends about that. Let's get another million views next week or something. But thanks for joining again. And remember, if you can just stay spiffy in life, you'll be fine. And don't do anything I wouldn't do